All right, so picking up where we left off, talking about technology impacting how and what we consume. All right, there's something different that's come about in the past decade or so, which is access versus ownership. So even the idea of ownership is evolving thanks to new technologies. Okay? Items like cars or bicycles can become subscriptions instead of large one-time purchases. Okay? Zipcar allows hundreds of thousands of people to use shared cars. Okay? City Bike is catching on in a ton of US cities. It's a convenient and eco-friendly way to get around a metropolitan area. So you just sort of go and rent this bike and do your, run around, do your errands and things like that, or just go explore the city, and then you can drop it back off at another City Bike rack, like this right here. Okay. And so we call all of this collaborative consumption. And what that implies is that we're joining together as a group to use a specific product more efficiently. If you think about it, like half the time, probably my car is sitting in my driveway. So if I could share it with another person who needed it during the times I didn't need it, that would be great. We could split the costs, you could split repairs, gas, all kinds of things like that. And so you have this sort of collaborative consumption, which is a really nice idea, and it's eco-friendly as well. Computer literacy, basically that just means that you understand the capabilities and limitations of computers, and you know how to use them safely and efficiently. And these are things that you should know by the end of this course. Okay, this is one of our course objectives. This is a literacy course, and so I want to make sure that yes, you're going to learn about like some intricate details, probably that you never really wanted to know about what's happening inside your machine, but it's going to be good for you, and it's also good to know really how to use your machine safely and efficiently. So let's talk a little bit about AI, so artificial intelligence. Okay. Intelligence is the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills. Okay. Sociologists point to characteristics that make human beings intelligent. So things like learning from experiences, reasoning, problem solving, perception, and using language. Okay. And so this is where I get to put my little plug in as far as computer science. Just because you may be interested in sociology doesn't mean you should cross computer science off your list. There's so many areas in which a bunch of different fields come together as far as working on new technologies and things like that. We need artists. We need really creative people. We need sociologists. We need psychologists. We need biologists. Okay, I mean I could go on and on and on. And so it's great when these fields can come together and work together. And artificial intelligence is definitely one of those. I actually sort of pay attention to a woman. Of course, her name slips my mind right now, but she's like sort of a psychologist to robots. Okay, as strange as that sounds, but maybe they need psychologists too. Okay, AI or artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science. So we have many different branches, and AI just happens to be one of them. And what it does is it focuses on creating computer systems or computer-controlled machines that are able to perform tasks. So usually this is associated with human intelligence, okay, and it's generally performed by the humans. Okay, we're not officially talking about robots here, not yet. Of course, the people who work in AI, okay, they're teaching their machines to learn. So we have something called machine learning, which you've probably heard about. It's like a hot topic in the news, in tech stories. Okay, and so we're teaching our machines to actually learn. They learn from mistakes, and they recognize patterns, much better than we do. So it's kind of crazy. It's really cool, and it brings in a lot of ethical issues as well, which we will get to at another time. Okay. In the 1950s, At the dawn of AI research, the goal was to create a machine that could actually think like a human. But now we've sort of changed our focus, and today AI researchers are looking to develop systems inspired by how humans think. Okay? We're not trying to recreate humans necessarily. We're just trying to take some of the best parts of humans and see if we can get them to work in machines, basically. Okay, AI central goals can be grouped into these categories. Okay, so we have natural language processing, or NLP, perception, knowledge representation, planning, problem solving, and then learning. So like the machine learning I was just talking to you about. A lot of information technology developments have contributed to the functional AI systems that we have today, including artificial neural networks, okay, big data, cloud computing, and then advances in machine learning. All right. I'm sorry if you can hear my kids in the background, but it is summer and they are home, and so that's just how it goes. All right. But back to the slide here. Businesses use a technique known as data mining, which is basically just the process of searching huge amounts of data with the hope of finding a pattern. Managers can then use this mined data to determine that if a certain product is to sell well, they have to lower its price. Okay? So how do they do this? Maybe they try it out by cutting the price at one store and they see the sales increase. All right, so that's one example. So they sort of try it out, watch what happens, and then they say, okay, now we can apply this to our other stores to increase sales of whatever particular item they are looking at. Okay. Data mining allows retailers to respond to consumer buying patterns. Okay? And you know you guys are being tracked, right, all the time. So the amount of data that's accumulated is massive. And that's why you hear big data, big data, big data, big data. Like there's so much data right now, we don't even know how to store it. Okay, look at this. 12,500 packages delivered by UPS per minute. That's worldwide. Okay, over 2.4 million search queries per minute on Google. Okay, every single one of those searches brings in income to Google. Keep that in mind. All right. 350,000 tweets per minute on Twitter, over 130,000 pictures uploaded to Instagram per minute, and over 300 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube each minute. Each minute. It's insane. Okay, so there's massive amounts of data, and so it makes it easy for people to track us. It makes it easy for people to come up with patterns because we are putting all of this stuff out there. Okay? Credit card processors and banks use AI systems to analyze huge volumes of transaction data in order to spot fraud. So a nice, useful thing here. Okay? The transportation industry has used autopilots on commercial airplanes for years. And autonomous vehicles, self-driving cars, in other words, I'm sure you hear about that all the time too. Okay? Those should actually soon be available for us to purchase. Okay? Yes, they have their issues, but human error as far as driving is honestly a lot worse than when a machine is driving a car for you. Okay. Many robots are deployed in industrial settings doing hazardous, repetitive, or boring tasks. So things that humans don't want to do, we have machines that are willing to do it. The education industry, okay? We use computer technology, obviously, right? Intelligent personal assistants, so IPAs, assist students with their individualized learning plans, so their ILPs, all right? Usually you're gonna see that in like our K through 12 levels, right? AI can help speed up the grading process. I need to get to work on that, don't I? We're using AI as far as plagiarism checkers. So a lot of times if you submit stuff on Brightspace, it's going to go through a plagiarism check, making sure you haven't just grabbed something off the internet and stuck it on there and claimed it as your own work. And that's, again, using artificial intelligence in order to check your work against what's out there, on the web. Dashboards. These are screens that show which topics each student has mastered. Computers are being used in police cars and crime labs to solve an increasing number of crimes. See? One technique used by modern detectives to solve crimes uses computers to search the vast number of databases on the internet. And no, it's not instantaneous like you see on your crime shows on TV. It takes time. Again, the amount of data is massive, but it does work and it does help. There's a law enforcement specialty called computer forensics, which is growing in importance in order to fight modern crime. And computer forensics analyzes computer systems with specific techniques to gather potential legal evidence. So this is when people's desktops are confiscated, their tablets, their hard drives, their phones, laptops, etc. These computer forensic specialists are able to, how can I put this? Basically see whatever you may have on your computer, okay, and any sort of technology you have in your house. Right. Actually, let me go back here. And this is something we can talk about later if it's of interest, but there is some problems. Again, this is going back to sort of ethical issues with AI and bias. Believe it or not, yes, bias happens even in machines. And why do you think? Who's programming these machines? Humans. Okay, so when we see this kind of bias happening, as far as even like racial profiling, things like that, that's happening with these computers, it's because of the way they were programmed. Right, let's talk about medicine briefly. AI can help doctors quickly diagnose conditions with which they're not familiar. Okay, doctors are amazing, but they can't remember every single disease and illness that exists in the whole entire, length of human existence. AI can. Okay, AI is also being integrated directly into patient information systems. Okay? The design and construction of prosthetic devices is another area of medicine impacted by modern technology. And digital medication. So look at this little pill right here. See, inside has this little chip, okay? Looks like a regular pill, but these medications have embedded sensors that then transmit information from your body directly to the doctor. So kind of crazy, but kind of amazing. Okay. Psychology. So my undergrad is in psychology. Okay? It obviously took me a long time to figure out what I actually wanted to do, which was computer science, but I loved psychology. Okay? So I like seeing how the two fields interact. And researchers have developed a system to help improve interpersonal skills for people with autism. So MOC, or My Automated Conversation Coach, is a computer system that generates an on-screen person that can conduct a job interview or even appear ready for a first date. So to help people sort of practice with these human interactions. Okay? Affective computing is computing that can recognize and simulate human emotions. Okay? Engineers work to create computers that process data faster. Psychologists and computer scientists are working together toward a more complete understanding of human behavior. So, ethical computing. Ethics is a study of the general nature of morals and of the specific moral choices that we as individuals make. Okay? These laws are formal, written standards that are designed and to apply to everyone. Okay? Unethical behavior is not conforming to a set of approved standards of behavior. And amoral behavior occurs when a person has no sense of right and wrong. Okay? So looking at your own personal ethics. This involves, describing yourself, all right? So what are the key principles that you believe in? Identify your external influences. Consider why. and prepare a statement of values.